leader of the Reform Party in the United Kingdom and our dear friend, maybe the next Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, if he keeps the roll up, the head of the Reform Party, none other than the wonderful Nigel Farage. Nigel, lovely to see you. Things keep rolling your way. Not just the results, but the issue you have been bang on for as long as that the UK should be free from Europe is about immigration, that you should have control of your borders. And here is the UK Prime Minister trying to sound like you. Let's see the tape.
That will finally take back control of our borders and close the book on a squalid chapter for our politics, our economy and our country.
What's your response, mate?
Well, he spent his whole career as a human rights lawyer, as head of our prosecution service, as leader of the Labour Party, openly campaigning for free movement of people, open borders. Anyone that criticises mass immigration is a bigot and a really bad dude. He's actually prevented people from being deported, despite the fact they were serious criminals, because of the European human rights law. And now, because he gets an absolute pounding on the 1st of May from Reform, suddenly he believes in control. He understands that mass immigration's caused huge damage to our economy, to people's lives. And any conclusion you can reach, he's a total and utter fraud.
Yeah, and again, he's so obviously responding to an election that happened in the past couple of weeks, right? Because where was this 2 weeks before, 2 months before? Where was this during an election campaign? And the thing that these guys never, ever understand, right, is that they think that, it's all about the small boats and the illegal immigration. No, it's also about adding hundreds of thousands, millions of people to every queue in the country. So everyone who's already in the queue, that's what irritates them.
Yeah, I mean, we have to build a new house in this country, a new house every 2 minutes. Think about that, just to cope with current levels of immigration. Our population's increased by 10 million over the course of the last 20 years. So no wonder you can't get an appointment with your doctor. No wonder the roads are clogged. It really has damaged people's way of life, and it's made them poorer too. But look, Starmer having said all these things, firstly, it's going to hurt him because it'll split the left. There'll be more people voting Green, voting for the Gaza independence. There'll be other independent left-wing candidates that could really hurt the Labour vote, because these guys, they're a small percentage, but these guys believe in complete open global borders, a bit like the old Trotskyites going back over 100 years. And as far as my supporters are concerned, they're going to look at this. Are they going to say, it's all OK, we don't need Farage anymore, Starmer's our man? No, they won't believe him either. He's in real trouble. And I have to say, he lacks total sincerity. He's all about power for the pursuit of power, not actually what you can do with it. And I think people will see through this. In fact, they have already.
What a thumping cartoon in the Times of London, by the way, if we can have a look here at their depiction of the Prime Minister, presumably having a conversation with the good British people here. We risk becoming an island of strangers. The person responds, I don't know who you are anymore. A very good point. I didn't know he was a smoker, by the way, but anyway, minor detail. How do normal people react to this sudden change, do you think?
No, the point of the cartoon, Paul, is I'm known when I'm out campaigning for wearing yellow corduroy trousers.
Right, my apologies.
An overcoat with a velvet jacket and having a pint and a fag.
Right.
Now, that's me. I've got a Union Jack tie on as well. That's me with Starmer's head on it. That's why the cartoon's really funny. He's trying to imitate me, but you know what? I'll tell you something. You can't out Farage, because if you do, you're whistling in the wind.
And there'll be plenty of people who think that there's, a little bit of the Farage magic, a little bit of the ideas. If we can shave 2% here, 4% there, then basically we know in a first past the post, if we can make 34-30 and we can make 30-31, then we don't have to deal with this here. But I think when people can sense momentum, they do. And I think that they're going to get behind something that's going to actually change things, because you can have a whole bunch of people saying, well, here's my version of the same, or here's my version of the same in different wrapping. And then there's another person who's saying, hey, by the way, the other two emperors aren't wearing any clothes.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the narrative of British politics, so someone said to me this morning, we are all Faragistas now. So, the choice at the next election is you can vote for the real deal or go for the fakes. And that's why we've got momentum in reform, because we genuinely say what we think and we mean it. And we kind of almost don't care whether you like it or not. That's what we believe in. They're our principles, and we're unbudgeable on that. And I think at last people are saying in great numbers, right, you know what? This is the party for change. And another poll out this morning putting us, can you believe it, 10 points in the lead. We're 10 points ahead of the governing Labour Party in the current polls, 13 or 14 points ahead of the Conservatives, who are falling off a cliff. Now, look, I'm not a soothsayer. I can't predict what will happen over the next months or years. But right now, we are in a most incredibly strong position. And historically, what is going on has just never happened in our modern democratic history. So it's a very exciting time.
But also such an important message to those who share our politics, but the idea that of the things you believe in, you must be unshakable on, right? And if you've got a movement that is built on absolutely unshakable central values, then the rest of it becomes tactics, right? Now, as you know, we're sort of in this conversation of the centre-right being in real trouble in terms of electoral fortunes in Australia. And we spoke before about the need for happy warrior, and I've been using that term 1,000 times in our chats of recent times. But again, for those who are in and around the decision-making process on the centre-right in Australia, I think if they don't have those core views before you even ask the question what they are, then they'll never actually achieve anything, right?
No, that's right. And I mean, looking at the splits that are there in Australia right now, I mean, it's not for a shortage of money, is it? Because one individual has been pumping a lot of money into sort of, small c conservative ideas. No, and it all looks terribly wasteful, the whole thing. Do I really believe that Australia is this sort of centre-left softy? I mean, I just don't believe it. No. But somehow, someone has got to come along and spread a bit of optimism, spread a bit of happiness. And if you look at all the upsurging populist, small c conservative movements, they all have leaders that actually express a bit of joy, that actually express a bit of optimism, a bit of sunshine. And that's what people want, because they see all around them the values they've grown up with, the things they really do understand and care about. They see them under threat from modern-day wokery and much else. And the way through it isn't just to moan, isn't just to complain, it's to have a vision of where you want to get to.
Yeah, bloody oath. These chats are so valuable. Lots of important people, but most importantly, normal people are watching them both live on the telly and for many days after online. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it, and I appreciate the privilege of talking to you. Good on you, Nigel.
Thank you.